Hi.
Howdy.
And welcome back to the 1313 podcast. I'm your co-host, Jacob, joined by my other co-host, Jackson and Tommy.
Hello.
Say hi.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us on today's podcast. Today we will be discussing Star Wars on the Star Wars podcast. To all you Regs, welcome back to the podcast. To all you Shinies, welcome to the podcast. This is the podcast.
This is the podcast.
Podcast. Pass me that Joan. Pass me that Joan. Pass me that.
First and foremost, if you
are not subscribed to the channel already, be sure to subscribe to the 1313 Podcast YouTube channel so that way you have a chance to win this.
You can win this Bad Batch Rex figure. At 500 subscribers, we're giving it away. So
make sure that you're subscribed to the 1313 Podcast YouTube channel.
This probably sounds like trash on the audio right now.
No, it's alright. It's alright.
Anyway, yeah, we're giving this away at 500 subs.
Basically,
make sure that you're subscribed to the channel for your chance to win this amazing figure.
Basically, subscribe and don't be a loser.
Yeah.
And also, if you really don't want to be a loser, you should join our Discord server.
Our Discord has lots of fun people in it. Lots of fun discussions about fun things like Star Wars, music, toys,
Star Wars,
collections, and Star Wars. Sometimes we be playing the video games with the people in the Discord. If you are interested in that, join the Discord.
Shout out to our newest members this week, Rural Farm Boy and Noah. I don't know how to say his last name. I think it's...
What? Gotta love it when your phone is turned off and TikTok goes, you know what?
Bruh.
I feel like talking right now.
It's Noah Moore is our guest on Have a Chat. You will see him, or you have already seen him.
By now you would have already seen the Have a Chat.
And that was another fun Have a Chat for us to have. He is a 501st member, as well as a big Star Wars fan. Makes some awesome TikTok content.
Yeah.
And so be sure if you haven't checked that out yet.
If you're not a complete and utter square, you'll check it out.
I'm so unbelievably tired. I need to wake up.
I got you, bro.
You'll wake up because we got a lot of Book of Boba to talk about.
We got a lot of Book of Boba topics to talk about today.
Go! And no, bring home the bounty because it was trash.
Bring home
so
the
we get
booty.
to skip it.
Woo! You want a tote and a shirt? Nope. I woke up at the crack of 5:30 today to watch Book of Boba.
I was up at 5 a.m.
I woke up at 4:45 to watch.
And all I have to say is, my man was left for dead on the sands of Tatooine.
I really went to my 8 a.m. coding class, and the teacher's like, had a very monotone voice and was telling dry jokes the entire time. Be like, hey guys.
Good morning, class.
No, it was just, welcome to intro to C++ and C++, and I was like,
I cannot believe you.
The entire time trying not to fall asleep.
How did you knock over Ahsoka? She's way over here.
Bro, I guess it's just because of the seismic waves.
Oh, wrong sound.
Bruh.
Oh, no, that would have been accurate.
Oh, brother. The moment is gone. Anyway, I was trying not to fall asleep in that class, but Book of Boba was fantastic.
Book of Boba was chef's kiss this week.
Yes.
It was, there's so much for me to talk about. I watched it twice, and I feel like I'm going to forget stuff because there was so much stuff in that episode that I was so invested in.
I was only able to watch it once. I wanted to watch it twice.
So I want to say spoilers for the new episode of the Book of Boba Fett. If you have not yet seen it, you should probably skip to the next chapter in this podcast because you're lame if you haven't seen it yet.
Wow, that was rude, Tommy.
No, it's not rude. It's not rude. It's been
by the time this episode goes up and you haven't seen Book of Boba, that's just on you, boss. It'll have almost been a week.
Yeah, it's 5 days.
We're kind of late to the discussion.
Says the guy that hasn't seen Spider-Man yet.
Marvel.
Bruh.
Shut up. Anyway, so where should we start with this episode? Where should we start?
I just want to start with the one thing that
a long time ago, a galaxy far, far
that
away.
wasn't in this one.
I just want to say right off the bat, this episode is a 10 out of 10 for me.
Yes. Even Yak Fakes gave it an A+. And he's been crapping on it.
No, he gave really good reviews. First and third episode, he gave a B. Second and fourth episodes, he gave an A+.
Oh, yeah.
Again, not going to give a rating until the whole thing is over, but this was a very good chapter in the book.
This was an S tier episode. Very good.
It was amazing. I loved every moment of it.
Mm-hmm.
and I couldn't believe how long it was. It was, 48 minutes or something?
Yeah.
Dude.
All the episodes have been relatively long, which I'm surprised
Honestly,
about.
the first one was the shortest.
Yeah.
All right, so here's where I'm at. First, I just want to get it out of the way. Jackson and I were already getting hyped about. They made a live-action version of the Butler droid from the Clone Wars.
I was quite excited to see him.
The Butler droid is consistently one of the funniest characters.
The rat exterminator.
The fact that he was the rat catcher in Bib Fortuna's palace is amazing.
I find it funny that the master of torture from Jabba's palace wound up in the kitchen.
Stirring soup. No, I think that they turned that room, the droid torture room, into a kitchen.
Into the soup room.
And but yeah, I was super excited. I think some of my favorite moments from that Butler droid in the Clone Wars was in the Clone Wars movie, General Loathsome is like, bring us something liquid. And he goes, okay. And he's like, and my other favorite one is the one that carries the bomb.
Yes.
For Nuvo Vindi's lab.
I like how, awesome. Whenever they're like using a comm link or the hologram things, they always put it between their ears and hold it up.
I thought that it looked so good. It didn't look like, oh, that's CG. It looked robotic. It looked very real. And there was definitely an actual prop version of it made.
Yeah.
Probably.
It was practical.
I was also super into that chef droid that was totally doing the General Grievous saber spins with the blades.
That was pretty funny. I liked how the Butler droid ended up offing himself just because Boba had him against the throat, and then he was like, rips open his chest,
Boba Fett. And he just
deactivates. That was so funny and in character for that droid. That was really good.
Did he drop him in a pot?
In like just a garbage can.
That was funny. Hopefully we see some more of those guys in canon.
It just like, I saw it and I was like, oh,
it tickled me pink.
Anyways.
That's weird.
My other favorite like goofy moment was where Boba's talking to his bantha.
Yeah.
And he just goes, go, meet other banthas. Make baby banthas. And it just sat there. He's just like,
it was looking up on him. It was like, oh.
I know banthas had tongues like that.
I know. It was like, what that mouth do, bantha?
Is weird.
Ah, yes, old girl. What that tongue do?
Bruh.
I'm not a fan of what you just said. I'm not a fan of what you just said.
But I think it was just so comical to me, like that he said go away and he like made a big moment out of it and it just stared at him. He had to like throw like a leg of whatever he cooked for it to go.
Whoa.
It probably turned around and was like, it's like, where'd he go?
He turned back around. Whoa. No.
Yeah, so the scene or the episode opens literally with Boba and the Bacta again.
Mm-hmm. It's right into the flashback.
I thought the entire episode was going to be flashback until we got to the end.
I've had a really good feeling too at the beginning that this was going to be an episode that was going to finish up the Bacta tank if it started in it.
And it did.
Yeah, I feel like we're done seeing the Bacta tank until Boba Fett actually like gets seriously hurt and maybe gets to be thrown in. I feel like that's it for me trying to see Jango, but I also feel like that's also part of the plot where it's all like he so distantly tried to chase and become his father, but he could never reach him.
I still am going to hold firm and say that we're going to see something with Jango and something with Kamino, because they would not have just done those couple little flashbacks and had ILM render this super high quality, high definition Kamino.
Or they did.
But they just did because they filthy rich like that.
I mean, I would be surprised.
It wouldn't surprise me if they just took the model from the Clone Wars and retextured it. They really could have just done that.
I mean, the Clone Wars and Kamino and the Bad Batch looks so good.
Yeah, so they probably just took that model and retextured it.
So we get to a flashback with Boba, and Boba just kind of
he leaves on the back of the bantha to go survey Jabba's palace to scope out whether or not he can reclaim his, and this is gonna make some of y'all mad, his fire spray
gunship. Y'all mad? IGN mad.
I know that's gonna be the big topic of
fanboys,
discussion too, which sucks because this was such a good episode, and I don't want people looking at these headlines by these big media giants who don't frankly care about Star Wars and only care about putting out articles and being all like, he called it the fire spray. He called it the fire spray.
It's official. It's official. Well, granted, it was never official. Well, I guess it might have been.
It's the model of the ship.
It was
because
always called a fire spray gunship.
Yeah. Like the Millennium Falcon is a Corellian class starfreighter.
YT.
I don't know the serial number.
I think.
But
I think it's Y. I'm gonna get.
And Han calls it that.
I think it's Y. It's a YT Corellian something.
No, you're fine.
But no, it's never officially mentioned in Star Wars canon though that it's called Slave One.
Technically,
is it in the Clone Wars? I can't remember.
Yes, Slave One is in the Clone Wars.
It's called Slave One, but that's the only time anywhere in Star Wars that a character calls it Slave One.
It was called Slave One in the Clone Wars?
By Orsing, I want to say.
Oh, shoot, you're right. Because I was going to say it was never canonically called that, but no, that's right.
Yeah.
Because then other than that, it's only in like the visual dictionaries and everything else that the ship is Slave One. And it's in like the Legends material of Jango Fett of how it becomes called Slave One.
Yeah.
But still.
I find it cool that right after he goes and surveys the palace.
It's a YT 1300, not 3000.
Okay.
I love you 3000.
I find it funny though, like right after he like surveys Jabba's palace, is like, yeah, too many guards, I'm not gonna do that. He's just chilling in the desert at night, and all of a sudden you see some very familiar flares and hear some very familiar music. Yes, we are introduced to the actual origin of Boba meeting Fennec. It's I think the shot that they used of him walking was reused from season 2 as well.
The clip of the walk for the second was, which I felt kind of stupid afterwards. I feel like very ferociously debating with people that could never be Boba Fett, and that wasn't Boba Fett walking up to Fennec at the end of the Mando episode.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Jackson. I did the same thing.
No, because here's the thing.
Because we're like, he's dead.
We thought it was too good to be true.
But I see the reasoning why people would have said that, because when you look at the thing that Disney Plus put out before the Book of Boba,
they're like, he has the spurs.
Yeah, it's the spur walk, and it's the same sound taken from Empire and all the other movies. So I was like, oh, it was kind of meant to be obvious that it was Boba Fett, but I never picked up on that, so I was wrong.
We always heard it and we were like, yeah, that's not true. And then, oops, it was true. But then after Boba Fett picks up Fennec, takes her to the tattoo parlor of modifications, whatever.
Yeah, basically, it's designed like how a tattoo parlor would be.
Yeah. With a guy with golden dreads. And then he kind of has like the
They're golden?
Well, they're like yellow.
I thought they were green.
Some of their modifications
don't
green. Really feel Star Wars to me, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Like the dude with both of his eyes
it's
modified.
Like cyberpunk.
It feels like cyberpunk, or like I get maybe even like Hunger Games vibes, like the rich people in the Hunger Games. That's the kind of vibe. But then again, you see this kind of similar costume design in the bar in Attack of the Clones.
Yeah.
You see the same kind of design in, and I know I hate to, I'm not gonna try to bring it up, but in Canto Bight, a lot of people dress like almost not Star Wars.
Yeah.
How you wouldn't expect Star Wars characters to dress. So I guess whatever, but like, yeah, to me, they just don't feel very Star Wars, but also I don't care because they were just made my characters.
Yeah, and then even to like counter that as well, this is all, I mean, sure, it mocks clothing used in Attack of the Clones, but now I feel like it's in the sequel, so anything is up in the air. Like, this is all brand new Star Wars stuff. What if after the Age of the Empire, people decided to use these cybernetic enhancements on their bodies to do more for themselves? You know, I feel like this could very much be like a trend that we see in like the Star Wars universe, where like it wasn't before in the prequel and OT.
Well, they're totally selling it as like, you know, the hip, cool young kids do it.
Oh, exactly.
I like how when Bobo goes into the parlor initially, you see one girl getting worked on and she has something on her spine that looks a lot like the vertebrae on Doc Ock's arms in Spider-Man 2. It looks a lot like that. That was like the kind of vibe I got from that.
I did see that, yeah.
I also liked how I guess the mod artist is what I'll call him. He had a super battle droid hand that he takes off to put on his tools.
That was really cool.
I didn't notice that till the second time I watched it.
The 3 fingers of a super battle droid.
But yeah, so, you know, Fennec gets modified.
She wakes up and then she's like, what did you do to me?
Take this Black Malin. Soon you will crave it.
See, that was a funny detail I thought as well, because in The Mandalorian, you could see that, oh my gosh. Who's the marshal?
Oh my gosh. Timothy Oliphant's character.
Cobb Vanth?
Cobb Vanth. Yeah. When Cobb Vanth takes the black melon for the first time, he's literally repulsed by it and hates drinking it. But we've seen Mando and Boba both just kind of casually like sip it like it's nothing. And I was like,
probably because they're alcoholics and they're like, this is not that bad.
I mean, not even just that. It's just the fact that they're used to it.
It's just in Din Djarin abuses substances.
Bro, chill. The 1313.
I like how
the use of abusing substances.
Cool. Anyway, I like how Fennec's rifle is just a multi-tool. First, we see that she just pulls a knife out of the stock. Now we see that the stock completely comes out and there's a tracking droid in it, a lot like Darth Maul's tracking droids that we see in A Phantom Menace, but very small. I like how
an upgraded version.
I just like how it just seems like there's just new uses for it. Like every single time you see the gun. Yeah. So I think it's cool because it kind of gives like a more futuristic look and feel to the weapon itself.
Yeah, it absolutely does.
Oh, it's just a gun. It's like, oh, it has this and it has this and it has this. It's like, of course there's.
Well, she's an assassin. She would need a multi-tool like that.
Yeah. So
it very much reminds me of the Might of Multi-Tool from Destiny. If you ever saw that weapon before, just because her rifle, like the Mighty Multi-Tool, is also semi-auto, but like every shot you take feels like it has a kick and it has a presence to it. Like it isn't just a dingy like pea shooter gun going. It's you know what I mean.
Pew 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 pew.
Sorry that wasn't the best recreation of a sound.
Jackson said the gun goes like. The gun goes like. Yeah, you get the point. The gun go boom. I was heartbroken when that gonk droid blew up though.
Nah.
Maybe that's their use, is they just freaking blow up because nobody knows what a gonk droid's used for.
They're power cell droids.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's right, because the Bad Batch plugged it in to recharge their shields in the one episode. That makes perfect sense now.
Mm-hmm. And just like in real life, if you puncture a lithium-ion battery, it blows up.
But that was a four-legged one, and the only time I've seen a four-legged one explained is in season 1 of the Clone Wars in the Rookies episode. They explain that they're filled with Tabana gas.
Oh.
Or no, they just put the gas in the room. And they use the droid as like the conductor to cause the explosion.
Oh.
So that, okay, my bad. It is a power
Kids,
droid.
if you want to try your own gonk droid power experiment at home, find a lithium-ion battery.
Find
stop it! Take a knife and go like to it just a few times, and then like do this outside. Don't do it in your home.
No, do it in your home. Do it around your family's valuables. And
I'm not doing a disclaimer for this one. I'm dead serious.
Anyway,
you need to leave.
So
the 1313 podcast.
Shut up! I hate these disclaimers. Stop! So anyway, right after we see Boba reclaim his fire spray gunship.
Y'all mad? No, because the stupid thing is, what if Fennec would have been like, "Well, what are we getting? Slave one. What? Why not?"
Fennec would have been like, huh?
One slave?
Huh?
No. My ship.
My ship. No, but after we see them rescue this iconic ship, Boba hunts down the biker gang and proceeds to massacre them.
These poor fellas had no chance.
Fella really flew in and said,
"Execute Order 66.
Fella was angry. He was enjoying
the look on his face, the way he was accelerating the ship.
He was just so angry.
He wanted them dead.
Mm-hmm. It was really, really cool.
He hits a missile on the lead speeder bike right at the end, and Fennec just kind of gives him this nod of approval. He kind of looks at her like, also like kind of like, well, what is she gonna think of how I just did that? And she just kind of gives him like a nod. Oh, this was something that I wanted to bring up when in one of the scenes, there are two separate scenes where Fennec and Boba are sitting like around like a fire, and then like it might have even been the third time they were sitting around together. She told him he was soft.
Yes,
and I know that has been a huge complaint from people who are watching the show that Boba Fett feels soft, and Boba Fett says it himself. And I'm just saying, 1313 podcast got it right. We've been had it right. That Boba says he's a changed man. He's been taught new things and he's had new experiences, and that's why he is the way he is now. And
He
I
also
think it's very sorry. I think it just goes to show that Fennec saying that shows that the writers of the show, John and because John Favreau was the writer for all the episodes, but the writing team and whoever else, they were conscious of this. They knew they had to explain how Boba is so different, and in doing that, they knew that fans were gonna, come out and feel some sort of way about Boba being so different. So they acknowledge it in the show.
Yeah,
so I thought that was really clever.
And it's also, Boba Fett knows what it's like to be a ruthless bounty hunter who just does nothing but kill. He's seen it in the Clone Wars. He's seen it through Aurra Sing. And where that leads you is getting pushed off a bridge by, I believe, Lando. And everybody's happy you're dead. So, because that's a throwaway line in Solo. Yeah.
No, Lando doesn't do it. It's the other dude with Solo.
Wait, what are you talking about?
Okay, the blonde dude in Solo. I'm forgetting
Tobias
all
Beckett?
these. Yeah,
Beckett. Does Beckett kill Aurra Sing?
Yes, Beckett kills Aurra
Beckett
Sing.
killed Aurra Sing.
Because he was like, "You're the man who killed Aurra Sing. You did the galaxy a favor that day." And he said,
Yeah. So, yeah. Boba knows what it's like to... He sees what it's like to be a ruthless bounty hunter and where it gets you. So, it makes sense that he's like, maybe I'm not all about that. And y'all need to stop wishing into existence the fact that Boba is this massive badass when all you see is in episode 5 him go, "Yeah, I'll take Han Solo in that block of Play-Doh, please." And then in episode 6 him going, "Ah!" and then falling to his death. That's not a very cool guy character. I feel like the only cool part of him in the OT is the mystery of who he is. That's it.
And that's what we've said pretty much every week of discussing the new episodes of the show is like everything that you know about Boba Fett and we know about Boba Fett. I'm not saying dispel that from your mind, but that is not accurate to who Boba Fett is now. It's not. And I'm sorry if you don't like it, if you can't get down with it, then get out, because I'm enjoying this show. I'm enjoying it so much.
Yeah. The character idea of having a lone wolf, I mean, is extremely popular for a lot of people. You want someone who can survive on their own, blah, blah, blah. But in a realistic life situation, which Star Wars tries to teach real life lessons so people can learn, is that a lone wolf will legitimately never go anywhere. And that's just a fact, and that's the truth. You can only survive as a team. You will only get so far as a lone wolf. Sure, you might be able to do some stuff like Boba did, but he, again, realized at one point, he's like, I can't do this alone anymore, else I will die. He couldn't survive the Sarlacc pit without the help of the Tuskens taking him in. They literally could have offed him, and that would have been the end of his story.
Yeah, and I just want to point out as well that, with this show, there's a lot of people that are getting upset that Boba is not being like a John Wick and just destroying everyone and everything every episode. I'm going to be honest with you. If that's all the show was for 7 episodes, I'd probably not be as invested in it as I am right now. Because just watching Boba Fett just destroy people every episode for 7 weeks in a row, nothing changes. Nothing new. There's no storyline. There's nothing compelling. It's just Boba Fett killing people. Wow. I mean, yeah, it would probably be cool, but but then when you do see him go all out, like he has a couple times in this show, it's so much more rewarding as a viewer. Yeah. Because you've been anticipating it, you've been wanting it, and then they give you just a little taste. And I just know that at the end of this show, it's just going to be a John Wick. It's just going to be nonstop. Everyone that Boba's teaming up with just destroys everybody.
I know, he killed a biker and it's like, don't get me salivating and fantasizing about things. That's a sports reference.
And speaking of Boba Fett being a cold-blooded killer, did y'all anticipate that Sarlacc to be still alive? Because I didn't.
Nope.
I thought it was dead.
We had determined at the first episode, yep, Sarlacc's dead.
Yeah.
How did it survive if he literally burnt a hole? I mean, okay. So if you go to Galaxy's Edge, or if you have been there, I know they have a diorama in one of the stores showing how big a Sarlacc actually is. It's literally a tip of the iceberg kind of thing. The Joan, like if
his mouth is here, the rest of the body's all the way down.
Yeah, it's all the way down.
Yeah, the Joan.
You get what I mean?
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
I'd have knocked the teeth out of your face.
Anyway, I thought it was really cool because one, we got to see the seismic charge be the thing to finish off the Sarlacc, but nobody can tell me otherwise that scene was not a direct reference to Jaws. A giant monster being killed by an explosive in its mouth. There's no way that wasn't a direct reference to Jaws.
The way that it happened was so lucky. I was literally thinking, like, what if the seismic charge just got stuck on the back of...
Just...
I know, it came out and it was rolling. I was like, ah!
I liked how realistic it was, too. She was like, shoot it, and his guns, like...
Were jammed.
Couldn't shoot into the Sarlacc pit, and I was like, that's kind of cool. Like...
I find it funny that after the entire endeavor, all Boba has to say is, "Don't touch my buttons."
Oh, and then he literally just goes back into the Sarlacc pit.
My fella goes for a casual swim in the Sarlacc.
The stomach acid of a Sarlacc.
That sawdust is so good, it made me go back in.
Okay.
No, I found it. Did anybody else find it? Whoa. Anybody else find it funny that the ship kind of just did a Michael Jackson, went kind of leaned forward? I thought that was a kind of a funny
ship
thing
hit a
tee.
Yeah, I thought that sequence was really cool, but now I understand too why Boba needs the Bacta so bad. He's been in the Sarlacc pit twice now, once unprotected, even though it was dead, and then also like he's just leather skinned. Like he just is disgusting. Like he's trying to heal. And so, Fennec kind of tells him that, okay, we need to,
You need Bacta.
I'll stick with you. She basically says, yeah, you need Bacta. And I did like Jacob has it on right now where he drinks some water and he waits for it to like go away. And he like pours some water on his head. He's trying to act hard,
It's like, I'm good.
Okay, yeah, so the scene that Jacob has right now, this is when Fennec tells him that he's soft.
Yeah. No.
And I liked that. Honestly, I liked again that they were clever about it.
Very good scene to show awareness.
But then, like, right after that scene, we get Boba coming out of the Bacta, him getting dressed, and it leads to probably one of the best things I've ever seen in Star Wars.
Oh, hang on. Before you say that, I do want to point out that his little... I want to say like servant droid tells him that his healing process is complete.
Yes.
So he's done in the Bacta tank unless he gets injured.
No more flashbacks until he gets bonked in the head so hard that he sees his dad.
I think well, he sees that every time he looks in the mirror.
Shut up and continue.
Oh, that's right.
Bruh.
I thought it was funny. But I do want to say that I think that the reason Boba Fett has kind of gotten beaten semi-easily before is because he was still healing. He's not at his full strength. Now he's at his full strength. So I feel like now we'll see a lot more action from Boba Fett. Which is another thing that a lot of fans have been asking for in this show.
Yeah.
Now, to one of the best parts of this entire episode. We see Chrysanthemum just chilling at the bar. Watches some Trandoshans.
Well, he is not.
And he is salty. He is mad. Probably because of what he's done in the arena. He probably just has a grudge. He's just racist against Trandoshans.
Dude,
Wookiees also hate Trandoshans.
Trandoshans
and vice
are
versa.
racist against Wookiees. It just is a thing.
Yes.
Yeah. So he's just sitting there and he goes, you know what? I've had it. And he goes and decides to beat up all the Trandoshans.
Dude, these poor dudes are just playing blackjack. They're just spinning the wheel.
They're just playing sorry sliders. And
Enjoying a Friday night.
Chrysanthemum just is like, you know what? I've had it. And the best part is he's holding this guy by his arms, just holding him up. And then like the lady who owns and runs the Oasis just comes up. He's like, hey, I get you're mad. Your time has passed. You're still a warrior. If you don't rip his arms off, I'll pay your bar tab. And he just goes, and he just rips him apart.
I'll only take off one arm instead of both.
That was still cool.
I'm not surprised, but I was also kind of surprised at the severe lack of blood that should have been in that scene.
Can we also just say though that like how good the Trandoshans look?
Yeah,
yes.
They look so good.
They look
Skinny
more
lizard
realistic.
The way they blink, it looks so good.
Scaly lizard.
And it makes me say, they gotta hire some bounty hunters. Maybe they could hire Bosk. Maybe they could hire Embo. Maybe they could.
We'll get into that at the end.
Maybe they'll hire Cad Bane.
It's cool
Hold
though.
up.
If you notice when the Trandoshans blink, it's kind of like how an alligator is. They have two separate eyelids.
Yeah.
They have the clear one, and then they have their actual one.
I like how they gave that touch because it's not just like a human blink.
Yeah,
exactly.
it's reptilian, so like it makes sense. Very cool, very nice.
Chrysanthemum really pulled a Chewbacca from the Lego Star Wars game and ripped these fellas' arms off.
Didn't Chewbacca rip someone's arms off in Solo? I feel like he did.
Because I was going to say, I don't think we've actually seen a Wookiee do that in canon material yet.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I feel like...
I don't think he did in Solo. Because I feel like I would have remembered it if it was in Solo.
That's very true.
Yeah,
because this one, it was just brutal. Because it was like, dang, that fella arm
It's
off.
like, his body there, his arm there. I find it cool, though. I keep saying that. Why do I keep saying?
I find it cool.
We all have things that we just...
It's like it's just a repeat button.
I understand.
I'm a broken record.
I totally see.
But then after we see him destroy the Trandoshan, Boba Fett hires him. He's like, "Are you looking for work?" And he just stares at him like he always does. So it's fair to assume that he's hired Chrysanthemum now as a bodyguard or just a hired arms for this impending attack against the Pikes.
I think it's cool. I was talking to my brother because when I watched the episode the second time, I watched it with my brother, and I was talking to him, and we were kind of going through like the roster of who Boba Fett has like working for him right now. So he's got obviously himself, and then he has Fennec.
Mm-hmm.
He has his little servant droid, and he has like his translator droid.
Mm-hmm.
He's got. I'm gonna say there's 4 of them. The street rats.
Mm-hmm.
He's got 2 Gamorrean guards.
Yep.
He's got the Rancor and the Rancor Keeper, and now he has Chrysanthemum. So he's got, it's a very small, close circle.
And now we have probably, most likely,
The Mandalorian.
Din Djarin.
Oh, not even most likely.
It
absolutely, definitely have Din Djarin.
Okay. At that final line was she was like saying something, we need to hire arms. He's like, we have credits, we need muscle. And she was like, you can buy muscle, you just need to know where to look. And all of a sudden just
When that happened, I was watching it with my brother.
I was sitting there at like 5 a.m. just
I went.
I was waiting to see my brother's reaction, and the music plays, and immediately he just goes and looks back at the TV, looks back at me over and over again until the episode ended. I was like, what? I was like playing stupid with him. And he goes, you didn't hear it? I was like, what? What was it? He goes, that was the Mandalorian theme. And I was like, oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But it was so cool to see his reaction.
Yeah. I woke up my roommate by going, yo, like very quietly in my room. I asked him later today. I was like, did I wake you up accidentally at all? He's like, well, I heard you get excited at one point. And I was like, it was probably when the Mando theme played. So,
you know, and it would make sense for us to see. And I wondered why they didn't show Din Djarin in Boba's dream. I wondered why they didn't show him when he found Fennec, because that was a perfect opportunity.
Well, he didn't see it happen.
Right,
yeah.
But then at the same time,
He just found her corpse.
now like this fits perfectly into the storyline. I don't think they're gonna show any more like flashbacks.
No,
per
because
se.
now we know it. He just chills.
We're caught up to speed.
He realizes
Yeah.
Cobb Vanth has his armor. He tries to find Cobb Vanth. Mando comes back, wins it. He sees Mando with it. Goes, guess we gotta find him now. And then Fennec's like, been there, done that.
Not to mention, we see Boba Fett in the first episode of The Mandalorian. It's either the first or the second of the second season. We literally see his face. So I see no reason for us to go into... I wouldn't mind seeing it, but...
Yeah.
That's one thing I never understood, like, what people would hate on for season 2 of The Mandalorian. They're like, there's just so many cameos. It's like every episode there's a new cameo. And quite frankly... when I see a character that's been established and they're like in a medium that I never thought that they would be in, it gets me really excited.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't understand why people hate on it so much. Like when Boba Fett appeared in season 2 of The Mandalorian and we just see him turn around and you see Tamir Morrison, everybody in the room just,
Bruh.
everybody was excited.
I remember watching it. I was watching it with one of my roommates and I stood up and went, oh my gosh. And he's like, What is it? He's like, is that Boba Fett? I was like, yes, it's Boba Fett. It's Boba Fett.
Like, I feel, I mention it all the time, but I feel like still the greatest thing that had me the most excited at 3 a.m. was Ahsoka with a lightsaber to that girl's throat, just, where's Grand Admiral Thrawn? I was like 3 a.m.
See, the biggest thing I wanted to kind of talk about too on the music was I learned this last semester in one of my music classes. For the life of me, can't remember the composer's name. Not going to dig through my notebook and get it to you. But essentially, there was a composer who was established in Germany who, again, forget his name. He also really liked Hitler, so he was really controversial. But he ended up creating the idea that a music piece could be associated with a character or a theme or something. And that was something that's
a medley.
Oh my gosh, who's the person who composes for Star Wars?
John Williams.
Well, yeah, that's something that George Lucas envisioned for Star Wars and obviously discussed with John Williams, because Star Wars is kind of the movie actually that ended up popularizing having a theme for each character, so that like if you're kind of casually watching the movie and somebody's theme comes on, you could recognize them by their music. And so that's why I feel like we're also so extremely confident that The Mandalorian is going to be in, if not this next episode, in sometime later in the show.
So intentional.
Yes.
That it's not, it literally isn't a question of if Din Djarin will be in the show. It's when.
Exactly. I 100% agree.
Now watch him not show up, and we're just gonna be like, "What?"
I feel like that would be
my
stupid.
question is, will he bring Bo-Katan and the Night Owls?
Yes.
And will he have that dark saber with him
in the Beskar spear?
Because I feel like at this point,
Beskar.
The Mandalorian season 3 will start after the events of the Book of Boba Fett. I feel like there's not enough time to have happened after the end of Mandalorian season 2 to establish, obviously, Din Djarin in whatever his next adventure is. I feel like he's going to do this, and then we'll see maybe what happens if he decides to go back to Mandalore or whatever it may be.
I did want to point out, too, we do get confirmation of some sort that Boba Fett was with the Tuskens for years. Because he says, because first of all, we see the Mandalorian season 1 episode happening in this episode of Book of Boba. And then he also tells Fennec that he was with the Tuskens. He said all those years. And so I was like, oh, okay, so that basically, since end of Return of the Jedi to the Mandalorian, where we are now in the timeline, that whole 5 or 6 year period, he was with the Tuskens.
Yeah. Just pimp chimping with them.
You know, just hanging out, being a part of their tribe, being soft.
I found it odd. I found it odd that we didn't see that much of the Rancor this episode, and Boba trying to bond with it. Of course, we get to see it when they're having their big luncheon, and they're like, "Oh yeah, what stops us from killing you right now?" And all of a sudden, you just from the floor. So, I mean, we get that little bit of the Rancor, but I'm surprised. We need to get more by next episode, because I don't think people are gonna believe that he's able to ride a Rancor like that. Granted, it would make sense in canon just because he'd be riding that mythosaur.
I wouldn't care.
He needs to have that bond.
I wouldn't care if they just popped in and showed him riding it. I wouldn't be bothered.
I'm not going to be too bothered either, to be honest.
I want to see him. I want to see him with the Rancor.
And then I can, when my Black Series Boba Fett figure comes in for this show, I can put it on my HasLab Rancor and recreate.
Bruh. Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Do you feel bad yet, Black Series collectors?
Let's stop talking about the Rancor.
I hope you're happy with yourself.
If you need a Rancor, Sideshow has one.
For several $100s.
You're going to pay the same thing for a Black Series one.
But I could have got Ula.
Bruh.
I'm done. I digress, but I was actually getting upset thinking about it today. I was like, man, that would have been so cool to do.
And that's probably why they did it. They probably knew it was coming.
They totally knew.
And they're like, you want the Rancor? No,
Ula, no Mula!
I want my space strippers. I want my Twi'lek wearing really skimpy outfits.
Let's stop talking about this.
I want to have the ability to be torn and stretched just like the Rancor does to her. I want each limb to come off and have red that goes under the arms.
Like Miss Stretchy?
Bruh.
I still can't believe I was thinking, Elastigirl!
He said it so casually, because I watched last week's episode, and he just goes, and Mr. Fantastic and Miss Stretchy.
it's Mr. Stretchy. I forgot. It's Invisigirl.
No, it's Mr. Fantastic.
Well, he Mr. Stretchy though.
Anyways.
You remember that scene from like the original Fantastic Four movie where he's texting but his hands are stationary and his thumbs are just stretching all over the keyboard?
Never seen it.
I haven't seen it in years.
You're not missing much. It's just the one scene that stuck with me because it's just like
on some Spy Kids stuff.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it looks like.
That's what the one dude with the 2 robotic eyes reminded me of. That's it. It was Spy Kids. That's what it reminded me of.
Oh no.
Anyways.
Oh brother.
No.
Yeah, but no, I think that about wraps up my feelings on this episode. I'm super stoked for what next week's episode is going to bring. I've been excited for every episode, but now I'm so excited.
Yes.
For this episode.
I there's just one thing I wanted to mention. One, on Google for about a week, Danny Trejo was listed as being the actor for Boba Fett in Book of Boba online for a week. It was kind of funny. Also, I find it funny, Danny Trejo is basically playing himself in the Book of Boba because in real life, he was on that show Pitbulls and Parolees. He is a huge activist for pitbulls, which in real life are a dog that can be misunderstood as something that likes to do nothing but fight and tear children apart.
I don't care. I hate pit bulls. I think they're the worst breed of
anyway,
dog.
you can let me finish. It's
Jackson's
funny. You can let me finish. You can let me finish. It's funny because he basically plays himself in the show as a guy that takes care and saves a giant misunderstood creature.
Jackson's unbridled rage for...
I'm not going to get into this. I'll talk about it in the Discord if you want. I don't like pit bulls.
As somebody that was attacked by a pit bull mix, I could put aside my grievances to realize that it was probably just the owner's fault and not the
I
dog.
would have killed it.
Jackson...
Bro, it bit my brother. I was about to stand for that.
I would have killed it.
Jackson really rolls up to the dog.
Execute.
So
I would have showed up to it like Boba Fett in Slave 1 to the biker game.
Anyway.
But what's that laugh?
Call me Boba because I'd be forgiven now. But no, I think that's all we have for Book of Boba
That's all we
today.
got.
Do we have anything else?
Yes.
I know for one little piece of Star Wars news, I found this TikTok of some girl that was going through the patents of Lucasfilm to see if she could find anything for the Kenobi show. And she did find some things for different packagings of products and different licensings for products.
Really?
That are supposed to be coming out. I think it said spring of 2022. So we'll probably get a trailer sometime soon, probably after Book of Boba is over, and then we might start getting merch pushes for it. So that would be cool. That would be cool.
I just want to say we will not be covering Bring Home the Booty today because it really was booty this week.
Yeah.
There was
Bring home the garbage.
Yes. Okay, so to kind of cover some
shopping bag.
Some Wack Series news. So literally this happened an hour right before we started recording. That's why I'm using my phone for this.
Black Series?
Yeah, so Yakface had posted that there is a rumor report for an unofficial master listing of the name identities of the two new Black Series figures for Wave 34. So I'll just go through the list of them. So Alexandria is supposed to
Keep going.
Is supposed to be the new Republic security droid. And then we have Richmond, which is going to be a Mandalorian Season 2 character. Can you stop touching the soundboard? We have Williamsburg and Fairfax, which are also going to be Mandalorian Season 2 characters. But it was uncovered that Richmond might actually just be Grief Karga in his magistrate uniform. Fairfax might be Axel Wolves, which we kind of knew that was coming. And then Williamsburg might be Din Djarin in the Tank Trooper disguise. I feel like the Tank Trooper disguise is an awful idea for
another Din Djarin figure.
Really?
Did somebody say a lazy repaint?
I'm sorry, but this will be the one figure I actually get mad at because it's the same. It's going to be the same figure.
Mando, and they took Bill Burr and they said, "Ha, we swapped a head."
It's literally going to be it. I mean, I guess it's okay for completionists like us, or like maybe people who wanted that scene.
All I gotta say is the figure will be okay if they fix the head on it. The head on the deluxe Mando looks really bad. If they fix up that head,
they'll probably fix the head because he has short hair.
Yeah, if they fix the head, then I'm okay with that. Because then, guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna buy one and I'm gonna take the head off him and put it on the deluxe Mando figure. So that way I'm not afraid to take the helmet off that figure and not be like, oh boy, look, it's the Pillsbury Doughboy wearing Mandalorian armor.
Yeah.
I really like the Magistrate outfit for Grief Karga.
It looks good.
I really want to see that figure. I'll probably get that one. And
I'm kind of debating.
Definitely Axe Woves.
Oh yeah,
No
Axe Wolves is
doubt.
going to be an essential. I feel like the New Republic security droid is going to be a really cool new figure. It's
I'm
a
gonna
new
be
mold.
honest with you. I think it's probably going to be a lot of reuse from Q90 because if you look at the bodies, they're pretty similar. At least the arms.
The
are.
Republic security droid isn't built like a protocol droid though, like Q9
No, the arms
is.
and the legs are pretty similar on them.
I don't know.
No.
We'll find
But
out.
then I was looking in the comments section really quick for it, and somebody was complaining about, oh, can we get like a Chrysanthemum figure or like this and that?
Don't ask for another
then-
Wookiee reprint.
The show just came out.
First of all, it just came out, but then Yak
Not at all
had
like
replied
protocol.
with, we're getting Saw Gerrera.
No, I didn't say that.
Oh,
I
what
didn't
you
say it was like the midsection like a protocol droid.
Not really.
The arm. No,
I'm
saying
not going to argue with
the
you. It's not the
midsection
same.
on Q90 is like a protocol droid. I know that this is not like a protocol droid. I said the arms are similar.
Do you hear what I said? Yeah,
Oh.
kind of just. I
get a-
forget if he said it before, but he was replying to that comment saying that we're getting Saw Gerrera.
Can we get a Dark Trooper? Can we get a
Saw
Dark Trooper,
Gerrera.
please?
We'll probably get a Dark Trooper at some point.
It'll happen at some point. I'm not
Because-
sure when.
Here's the big thing now for the Black Series now, I feel like, is the Black Series is already just trying to catch up with the 3 trilogies worth of movies, plus maybe sprinkle in a couple from the shows. But now that we have active shows going on, it's going to be really hard for us now to get previous figures from other Star Wars properties. I feel like it's going to be a huge emphasis still on making a figure for a show because there's still plenty of characters from Mando that we need to catch up on and get. There's plenty of characters we would love to get in this Book of Boba Fett line of figures that will eventually drop more and more. But I'm curious to see how Hasbro ends up tackling this issue. I guess, sure, they're going to start to sprinkle in another character here and there like Jesse that they were going to do. So that'll be interesting to see.
If I had to pick like my top 3 characters that have showed up in the Book of Boba Fett thus far that I'd want to see as figures, the obvious one is Chrysanthemum. I think that's the one that everyone wants to see.
I will get a Chrysanthemum figure.
I would really, really want to see a Pike, to be honest.
Yeah.
And then the Chieftain for the Tuscans.
I want to see an updated Boba. Like how he looks like actually in the show and not in the Mandalorian, and then label it as a Book of Boba figure. Because the outfit's completely different.
I think that the one that we're getting with the Book of Boba packaging is just going to be the figure that they do.
I really hope it's not.
I think it's fine because it's just a
Because then
slightly
I'm gonna
different
get
shade
the
of green.
TVC one. I'm gonna get the TVC one because I like that figure better.
Okay.
But it's like, so I want an updated Boba. I feel like a Chrysanthemum is a must at this point, and I feel like we should get Sarlacc as the next HasLab.
Did you ever notice that they
What if they did Slave One?
I think it was this episode where it might have been in the recap where they show Boba sitting down on the throne, and then like it goes from the scene we see at the end of Mando season 2, and then it just seamlessly transitions, and the helmet changes because
Yeah.
and I was like, hey, they did that pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
It
The
looked
transition's really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
pretty good. But yeah, that's
Unfortunately-
really, Black Series not
Yeah.
really much going on, which is good because I'm broke as a joke.
Mhm.
And
Yep.
Is it pickup time?
no Lego news or no?
No,
Nothing really.
I'm
The
aware of.
brickheads and the
All
stuff
right.
are available.
Yeah,
at Lego.
you can get the brickheads and the build-up packs at Lego stores if you ask them to go in the back. I'm kind of upset that they aren't available online yet. Yeah.
I
But
should have texted my buddies that were near a Lego store to see if they could look.
yeah, oh well.
Tough.
But today, you could probably have seen it this entire episode. I was fortunate enough to find the deluxe pack of all the Bad Batch GameStop exclusive in store today. I went to my local barber, and my barber, shout out Jeff. Jeff, if you're watching this, you're
Jeff
cool.
is an amazing barber. Love him.
He not only does he cut me up good, he's a Black Series collector, come to find. And we were talking about collectibles and stuff, and he was like, yeah, I went up to GameStop and they had that 5-pack of the Bad Batch, and I was like, they had what? And he was like, yeah, I went up yesterday and they had like 6 of them. There was like 3 on the shelf, 3 behind the counter. I was like, I'm going there directly after this. So I proceeded to go up there, and I was like, oh, they're Funkos. They usually sell out like quite instantaneously. They're probably not going to have it. And then they had them behind the counter, and they still had them on the shelf. And I was like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. So, I had to pick this up. We're not really Funko collectors here. We always grab a couple here and there. Jackson, for his dorm room, picked up the entirety of the Bad Batch with their helmets on, just for decorations. And now it's cool because now we have both of the variations of the entire Bad Batch.
Do you have Omega?
Yeah, I have Omega.
Mm-hmm.
He found that for me because that was the thing. I skipped out.
Target exclusive.
I went to.
She was a pain.
There was a store in a large city that I went on a day trip with my girlfriend for my birthday, and in the mall they had like this.
You have a girlfriend?
Yeah, I know, right?
That doesn't happen if you like Star Wars.
That doesn't happen if you collect toys. Anyway, but no, we went there and they had like this toy store, and it was just they had like lots of the Red Box Black Series figures. They had lots of old Marvel Legends, but they had a ton of pops. So I was just going through all of them, and I was lucky enough to find Omega, and I called Jackson. I was like, do you want this? If you do, cash at me now.
Bro, send it to me now.
Mm-hmm.
Bro.
So no,
I hate you.
It is how he sounded. But no, it was a very cool store.
Yeah.
Very, very fortunate to find that, since that was the only one he needed left. And now we pretty much have every figure that they've made for the Bad Batch.
Yeah, I kind of wish there was an Imperial Crosshair variant of the Funko Pop. I feel like that would have been really cool to do. I know they did like a coin version of Hunter and Crosshair as well. But again, not a huge Funko collector, doesn't really matter. If they end up doing an Imperial version of Crosshair, I feel like I'll get that as well and swap it out for the other version.
my Funko days.
Just because in the collection that I have right now, like displayed, like for my Black Series figures in my college dorm, I got rid of my Clone Wars variation of Crosshair is just here at home with my personal collection. But I like to have the Imperial one displayed because that's who Crosshair is right now. And like even in my display, I have him holding his old helmet and like making it look like he's questioning what he's doing is like right or not.
Mm-hmm. Hey Tommy, if you're done collecting them Funkos, you want to hook a homie up with that Thrawn one?
No. No, I'm good.
Now the real question is, do we open this?
That is the unfortunate question.
Do we do a live unboxing here on the podcast?
Well, the thing about Funkos is that the packaging doesn't have any tape, so you can just put them back in the box.
That is fair, but at the same time, let's just keep it in the box, because that's the other thing. Where are we going to put it in here for right now?
Where are we going to
We need to make sure we have... We need to make sure we have adequate space first.
Fella, we don't check to see if we have
Are you
space.
doing like that one dude on TikTok where he puts a speaker on his head and he spins it all around? You know
what?
I'm talking about? You haven't seen that guy?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
They'll
He's
tell him to
weird.
play a song, and yeah, he's a little weird.
Very
Little
good,
weird.
very nice.
Very good, very nice. This has been the 13 Podcast. Well, thank you for listening to this episode of the 1313 Podcast. Woo! I'm pretty sure that's all we had for today.
Yep, that's all I had.
We are stoked to bring you another Book of Boba Fett episode discussion next week.
Yep.
In addition to that, if you haven't already checked it out, check out our last Have a Chat episode. We talked with Noah. It was a good time.
Yes.
He's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
If you have TikTok, follow him on TikTok. If you don't have TikTok, make a TikTok account so you can follow him on TikTok.
Also follow us on TikTok.
Follow us on TikTok.
Did we mention that we have a TikTok as well as a Twitter as well as an Instagram that you should be following if you are a fan of the 1313 Podcast, and also be sure to subscribe to the channel for that 500 subscriber giveaway. Also, subscribe to be sure that you don't miss an episode of the 1313 Podcast. Ring that bell icon. That's right. Ring the bell icon to know when we post. Ring that bell icon. Make sure that you leave a like, leave a comment, let us know what you thought of the episode. Let us know what you thought of today's episode of Book of Boba. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, we probably won't read it.
You know what? Additionally, as well, if you want to see a specific guest on the show, let us know who you'd like to see. Because we would like some suggestions. We have our next couple guests booked out, but if you have someone in mind, let us know.
And if you've left a guest suggestion, we haven't ignored what you've said. We haven't said anything about it because maybe it's actually somebody that we have scheduled for right now and we're just not telling you.
Tremendously factual.
Yeah, it's a surprise.
That is true.
Have a chat dropping soon. But yes, this has been the 1313 Podcast. Thank you so much for listening, giving us your time. And also thank you for just subscribing to the channel and giving us support. We really appreciate it. Please be sure to join that Discord and give us a little hello. I'm Jacob.
I'm Jackson.
And I'm Tommy.
And we will see you all
next week. Bye.